Hello, my name is Daniel Connor, and this is Game Changer. My profession is being a certified professional coach, and that wasn't always the case. Uh, you know, I'm also an engagement consultant and a neuroscience fanboy. I'm a live stream host. I have this channel that I am starting up again. We've been on Twitch, and now we're moving over to YouTube. And today, I really want to talk about the journey of how I got to this point in my life because there were a couple of crisis moments in my life where I was really stuck. And I know that my clients oftentimes hire me when they're stuck and they know that they're ready for a change, but they're not sure what that change is. My goal for Game Changer, before we get too far into the weeds, is to share myself completely and also to provide a platform from other business owners, other coaches to also um, share themselves because visibility and fit are the two most important coins for coaches. Fit is important for our clients. You don't want to trust a coach that you can't trust. You have to be intimate with them with all of those details. And if you don't believe in the coach, if you don't vibe with them, if you don't resonate with them, it's not going to be a good fit. They're not going to be able to be as effective as they could. And I think that I'm not going to be the best coach for absolutely everyone, but I am the right coach for a lot of people. Those people need to see me, and that's what Game Changer is partially for. So I really have three ideal clients, if you will. Client one, they're stuck. They're stuck in problems, just like I was. They're on the brink of a major change in their life, and they probably don't even know what that change should look like. They want to design the next phase of their life, but they need help doing that, and that's where I come in. We work together to design life on their terms. We design what life's winning score looks like. For client two, those are the small business owners who want to get a cutting edge advantage over their bigger competition. And that comes from stopping the waste with their employees. Workplace engagement is probably the biggest waste of opportunity that businesses have. Um, they don't take the time to transform their work culture. They don't take time to create a platform or a foundation for their employees to work off of. And businesses hire me to work with them on their core values. And then coaching, which is the perfect method for rolling out core values, is used. I work one-on-one and in groups with the employees to help improve and drive major, significant inside-out change for businesses. But today I really want to talk about those individual clients and not necessarily the business stuff. We'll save that for a different episode. And then the third client would be guests, business to business services, coaches, positivity gurus, other neuroscience fanboys and fangirls. I want to give you a platform. So every other episode, I am devoting time for guests to come up here and talk. It's a low risk opportunity. We're just getting the channel started. I have maybe 3 followers currently, and that will change over time. Um, so come on board, create your low risk interview. Tune in next week for my first guest spot interview, and you can see exactly what we're talking about. And that would be an awesome opportunity for anyone out there who's looking for more visibility for their business. Well, today I do want to talk about 3.5 stories where I had some major life lessons that helped me get unstuck in life. But boy, did I get stuck. And I really want to tell these as a story. So I'm going to go into the weeds here a little bit. We're going to start when I was in college and I was suffering from depression. I was in my 20s when I went to college the first time, a little late bloomer there. And I got into this deep depression funk. I was an English major, um, which I could go on about at nauseum as to whether or not that was a good or a bad decision for me. But needless to say, I had a lot of homework that was due that I wasn't doing. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was just a complete wreck. I called my mom one night and I wanted sympathy. I wanted to have a little pity party, and mom was really good about comforting me. She probably is going to watch this, and so shout out to you, Mom. You were a great mom. And she knew exactly what I needed to hear. And it wasn't what I wanted to hear. It was, well, I said, Mom, I'm depressed. And she said, do your laundry. That's it. Not, oh, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do? How can I help you overcome this depression? No, she knew. She knew that I needed a small win. She knew that I had been stuck, that my momentum, my forward momentum had just ended, and that I wasn't moving myself. And that by doing my laundry, I would have a small win. And it wasn't until later, when I got into neuroscience, that I realized that this is dopamine in action. You set a goal for a small little task, you get it done. That sends a signal to your brain that you're on the right path. It gives you a burst of energy and a burst of excitement for life. And it's exactly what I needed at the time. She didn't know that I had probably 5 loads of laundry in my closet at the time. I was a little bit behind, but she did. She did give me that advice, and it was the best advice I have. And to this day, I remind myself to do my laundry whenever I'm feeling stuck or whenever I'm feeling that forward momentum kind of slowing down. And I need that burst of dopamine, that burst of success, that enthusiasm to moving forward that having a small win can give you. The next story that I wanted to tell, and I really, that one was the small one. I tell that story a lot. Um, this one I haven't, well, this one I do talk about a little bit with regards to my coaching journey, but it's also really troubling. I hit rock bottom in 2010, 2011. I was a smoker. I smoked for 15 plus years, over a pack a day. I was 150 pounds heavier than I am now, and as you can tell, that is saying something. Um, I was in debt up to my eyeballs. I couldn't make my monthly payments. I had a social life that revolved around going to bars and hanging out with people who were mentally and emotionally abusive to me, as a way of validating my own self-hatred. I gravitated towards people who put me down and made me feel like I was less than I was. I felt hopeless. I was stuck in an endless career where I couldn't get promoted, where my manager was in conflict with me constantly, where my leads were lying about my statistics to my managers to create that conflict, to take some of the pressure off of them. It was a rough, rough time, and I felt really hopeless. And I felt like I didn't know what to do. In fact, there was this moment where I went to my boss and I said, I really would like to get a promotion. I'd like to work on this lead position that was becoming available. I felt like I had the skill and the background and the statistics to really help in that area. It also would have gotten me out from underneath some of the other more dark areas. And she looked at me and she said, "You're not strong enough to be a leader." And I was so furious because 2 weeks later, when I didn't apply for that position, she yelled at me for a good 30 minutes, telling me that I was sabotaging her by not applying for that lead position because the person that she had handpicked for that position didn't apply for it. That gets into the weeds a little bit with regards to the office politics. The point is, I was in a victim mindset. I was stuck. Life was happening to me and not for me. In fact, the biggest thing that I did was, if anyone showed any form of relationship attraction towards me, any kind of romantic attraction to me. They were immediately the most flawed individual on earth, and I wanted nothing to do with them. I didn't love myself. So if anyone loved me, why would they be worth my time? It was my passion that saved me. My boss had to take an extended leave for medical reasons, and her temporary replacement had some pretty big changes in store for our department, including appointing me as an unofficial trainer. She sent me away to a training development camp um, workshop. And while I was there, I met an influential person named Scott Crabtree. And I talk about Scott a lot. He's a positive neuroscience junkie. He's also a coach here in the Portland metro area. He works with businesses to improve their culture by improving the happiness of the employees through positive, what I call what I call practical applied neuroscience, which is something I'm very passionate about. But I'm not as scientific as Scott is about it. But I got to see Scott speaking about it, and that's when I learned about the dopamine reaction. That's when I learned about things like practical goal setting. But it was like it ignited something within me, and it combined with the fuel of training, which is something that I'd always wanted to do, and it was something I was meant to do. And and I had done some before in restaurants and things like that, but never in a corporate setting. So when I discovered this, it just changed my entire life. It transformed me and gave me another purpose. So there's that dopamine reaction that we were talking about before, where I got a small win. But more so, just simply setting goals for myself, which is something I had never done before, taking time to meditate, doing power poses to raise my testosterone levels and lower my cortisol levels, those kinds of little practical applied applications of neuroscience had a dramatic effect on my life. Within 3 months, I lost 50 pounds. 3 months. I got myself out of one of my major debts, which I was then able to use that extra fund in order to pay off others and start a kind of uphill journey with regards to my finances. I got a promotion at work. I got a training position. I found my passion. And I cut my ties with some toxic relationships and set boundaries with other ones that were too important for me to lose. And then I put myself out there on dating sites and I met my future spouse. Regardless of where my clients are in their journey, regardless of where I am in my journey, the journey isn't over. And oftentimes we treat it like it is. But I'm so glad that I took an exit off the highway that I was currently going down and chose a different path, chose a different direction, because it led me so much closer to where I am today. The third of the 3.5 stories I want to talk about was really discovering my limitations. Um, in 2019, I started to have serious back pain. It was January of 2019, and my body wouldn't work. Like I couldn't walk. I went to the doctor. I went to physical therapy. I spent months in a couch, not being able to walk. And I felt really stuck. Like it didn't matter how much I wanted to get out there and change and do stuff. I couldn't. And oftentimes, when we see those kinds of obstacles in front of us, we treat them like doors We treat them like barriers that prevent us from moving forward. And oftentimes they're actually invitations to try a different door. Just like before when I got off the highway of the, dead end job and that sad social life, this was an opportunity for me to turn a corner, try a different path, try a different building. And it was a really stressful time in our lives. We had a condo. The condo was being assessed for more than it was worth. Um, which, if you don't know, that means that we would have to pay money to the association for repairs and things like that. That was on top of what we were also having to pay for the condo. Um, and condos can be a great, entry level housing opportunity for people, but for us, it was not the right choice. So we wanted to get out of there. And so we sold our condo, which was really difficult at the same time because I was living in the house. I was stuck there, but we had to show it. So I started to design my daily routine, design my life based off of my boundaries, based off of my limitations. I knew that I needed to eat healthy in order to maintain my current level of weight, and hopefully make some gains, or losses, really. With regards to that, I knew that I needed to keep the house clean. I needed to I also knew that based on my cleaning style that it had to maintain a certain level of cleanliness in order to stay clean because I wasn't going to be able to do some deep cleaning, not with my physical condition. So with regards to this, like the practical lesson here, the practical information that I wanted to share is that designing my life around those limitations enabled me to create a life that was meaningful. I discovered streaming. That's how I got into live streaming in the first place. At that time, it was video games. I streamed on Twitch. I tried YouTube for a little bit, but I didn't enjoy video game streaming on YouTube. Turns out I don't enjoy video game streaming because it takes me away from the video game. By the way, I think playing by itself is a great way to facilitate learning and development and to engage the mind. Video games themselves are a way more active form of entertainment than television or books because you're actually interacting with the content. But at the same time, like when you're doing that on the same time as streaming, it's taking you away from that content. So I was losing out on everything that I wanted to get out of video games. Um, But I learned so much during that time period about my limitations. I made the bed every morning for the first time in my life. In fact, if I was my 18-year-old self and I saw my 40 something year old self making the bed when my back was hurting, I would have been appalled. I wouldn't have wanted to be this person. But the truth was that it was an act of self care. It was an act of love because every time I walk by the bedroom and I see that bed is made, I take a little moment of pride. And I know that when I did that, I mindfully did it specifically for that moment. Specifically so that I knew that when I looked at that bed, I could see the love that I had for myself. It took a lot to get where I am now. And I'm not going to say it was all a journey of a normal curve. It was up and down. It was messy. There were moments in which my spouse came to me and said, "You needed to do something about this." And that's story 3.5. That's how I got where I am right now. Sometimes we need other people to hold us accountable for what we want. Having a dream isn't helpful if you're not moving towards it. And I wasn't moving towards mine. In fact, I was staying perfectly still, grounded in my safe zone. And the safe zone is where you go to die. There's a whole world out there that we're afraid of, that we don't want to take advantage of, that we don't want to challenge ourselves to deal with. And And I was afraid of it. I was living in fear. I was afraid of failure. So last year, I started the coaching business and a journey towards being a certified professional life coach. I'm now certified through IPEC, which is the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, as a certified professional coach, CPC, and I'm also an Energy Leadership Index Master Practitioner. And what that is a fancy way of talking about emotions and motivation, which is an important part of it. You're going to hear a lot about that here on this channel when I'm talking. And again, this isn't going to just be all about me. I am going to make sure that there are other people on here that get to share their story and get to share their wisdom and their joys, their passions. You know, life is messy. It goes up and it goes down all the time. But it's also full of limitless potential, limitless opportunities that are oftentimes disguised as barriers. And I know that your safety zone is your biggest enemy. That when you get stuck, you sometimes just need a little small win to get that dopamine moving. And that sometimes you need loved ones to kick you in the butt. I'm here for my clients to help them through that journey to make it easier. And my coaching style is very much based and grounded in empathy and intuition. I listen a lot and I ask questions. And I challenge my clients to overcome their own limiting beliefs, their own interpretations of the world around them. And coaching, I think, is the ideal methodology for designing a future life. You know, this is not mental therapy. This is not mental wellness therapy. Mental therapy through a qualified and certified licensed counselor is an important part of human development, and we support that here. But where therapy relies on dealing with the past and those stories that I've told you all about today, processing those and overcoming them, coaching is all about taking that information and moving forward, making a plan, choosing a direction of where you want to go and how you're going to get there. And I could have used a coach a couple of times in my life. From that moment that my mom commanded me to do my laundry to that moment I felt lost and afraid in 2010 to my back going out and being unable to do what I normally would do. How you get to the future depends utterly on how you live in the present. And for my clients, I want them to know that I am here for them and that I don't have an agenda. That it is not, I am not trying to make perfect Daniels out there. Trust me, the world doesn't need any more of me. I'm enough. I am enough. If you're interested in getting coaching through me and you would like to learn more, it's free. It's free to learn more about coaching with me. We'll set up an hour-long call. Just go to my website. There's a schedule me link. Just pick an hour meeting, meet with me for an hour, and then shoot me an email and mention this. Because if you do, when I make my offer to you, I will include a 50% discount. A 50% discount. There's information below in the description for this video. By the way, that is limited to the first 15 people because this is a video I just realized. I'm not going to give away all of my services. It's the first 15 people who mention this video. It's Game Changer 1. And so that free discovery call is available to everyone, but the 50% discount is only available to the first 15 clients. Everyone can use an ally in their life, and everyone could use someone to help hold them accountable. And I am here for my clients. I'm here for you as well. If you're interested, just drop me a call. That's all. And this was our first episode here on YouTube. So I would love to know what you think about this episode, what you liked about it, what you could use less of. I'm good. Um, Leave a comment, tap that like, hit the subscribe button. That will really help us grow and help us bring the message out there to the rest of the community and shed that light. My name is Daniel Connor. I'm a certified professional life coach. This is Game Changer Live, and I will see you next week with our special guest, Erica. See you then. Bye.